Trainee doctor Ryo Okada is among thousands of young South Korean medical professionals who walked off the job this month because they say they're overworked, underpaid, and the government's not listening to them. More specifically, they're protesting a government plan to raise the number of admissions to medical schools, which officials hope can boost the number of doctors. After the walk-off began, hospitals say they've had to turn away patients and cancel surgeries, with several issuing red alerts on Sunday as they overflowed with patients. Junior doctors are a crucial cog in South Korea's highly regarded medical system, making up 40% of staff at large teaching hospitals. But those like Ryu say the admissions plan misses the point, that officials first need to review their pay and the conditions they work under. Ryu says trainee doctors work more than 100 hours a week, making between $1,500 to some $3,000 a month, including overtime pay. A first-year resident in the United States averages about $5,000 a month, according to American Medical Association data, while half the junior doctors in the U.S. work 60 hours a week or less. That's according to the Korean Intern Resident Association, who also says intern and resident doctors in South Korea work 36-hour shifts compared to shifts of under 24 hours in the U.S.
The current medical system in South Korea, which is a great one, is run by making cheap trainee doctors keep grinding.
갈아서 만들고 있는 겁니다.
Senior doctors and private practitioners have not walked out, but have held rallies urging the government to scrap its plan to boost medical student numbers, with hundreds gathering in Seoul on Sunday. However, polls show the general population is mostly in favor of the government's plan. Authorities have ordered the protesting young doctors back to work, threatening arrest or to suspend their licenses. On Monday, the country's vice health minister gave them a deadline to return to work by March. But the doctors are asking why they aren't being heard.
I wanted to become a doctor because I want to stand next to the people when they are at their most vulnerable, when they're lonely and in pain. For this reason, I decided to work at the emergency center. But the government is only pressuring trainee doctors unilaterally without dialogue and threatening to arrest us.
Park Dan, who heads the Korean Intern Resident Association, says changes are needed in a system where many hospitals rely on a low-paid workforce to stay afloat. He added that doctors also want better legal protection from malpractice suits.
Doctors working in internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, obstetrics, and gynecology and emergency medicine, which involve medical care directly related to patients' lives, all carry the burden of not knowing when they might face medical lawsuits.
Part of the problem, Park says, is the lack of specific details on how the government plans to implement its proposed healthcare policies. He says it was heartbreaking for him to have to walk away from his patients. But, he says, the current system is distorted, so we need better than that.
오늘 가족 시위는 경찰분들의 인솔에 따라 진행될 예정입니다. 자, 앞에 먼저 줄을 잡으시 줄을 서주시면 감사하겠습니다. 하나, 둘, 셋, 예! 네, 세 번 알아주시면 되겠습니다. 무게적 우대중앙 외치도록 하겠습니다. 건보재정 파탄한다!
예, 평균 10만 명당 13.5였으니까
의료기관 정부가 6.1명 필수 의료를 살아납니다. 막아내자. 국민 기반 패키지를 공인을 불안해하고 있습니다. 제가 1987년
만화라고 좀 해주시오. 낙동강 수질이
지역에서는
국민당당 위협한다.
정부는
결사반대.
피해임에도 불구하고 시간을 내어 전국
의사를 지역 이기주의 앞으로 챙기기
Outpatient clinics continue to operate at normal capacity, the mass walkout by trainee doctors significantly impacts emergency patients. Some patients argue that while doctors may advocate for their own benefits, they should return to work. Lives hang in the balance, especially for those living. The current standoff could persist as both sides remain resolute in their positions. Calls for the return of trainee doctors grow louder, considering the primary impact on patients. Yusumin, CGTN, Seoul.
예, 예.